welcome back to the channel. It's a nice snowy Saturday morning here in Salt Lake City. Kyle and I are gonna do a little more tinkering on the 46 here today. See if we can get a few things done on it. Maybe remove the PTO and pull the ignition switch and get some new, not brittle, not cable housing wires and stuff on that thing. It's just crazy what's on this thing from the 40s. So update a few things, put an ignition switch on it that with a key that'll make starting this thing and running it a little better, and maybe get the fuel bowl cleaned up. So just doing some more tinkering here today. We'll take you along for the ride. All right, this is the ignition coil, and this is what I'm talking about, that goofy cable housing. This is a steel housing around just the positive old brittle nylon. I don't even know if that's nylon. That old rope looking wrapped wire from the 40s. This is just a cap to keep it all out of the elements and stuff. So I'm gonna remove this thing because it just goes into the ignition switch and wire. Just run a 12 gauge wire here and get on with it. Showing you guys what I'm looking at here. All of that junk was, so it's a double nut system. I just pulled 2 nuts off of it, and yeah, all that old wire was around that. Okay, we're looking at the top of the fuel tank here. Gonna pull this fuel sending unit and have a look inside this tank. The tank doesn't stink like varnish, which is a good thing. But we still kind of want to have a look-see. Again, let's try to save the gas. That gasket ain't salvageable, is it? No, you just broke it. Alright, I'm looking for another one. Pull her out of there. Yeah, we might build one. It's not. How's it look? Have a peek down inside. Looks pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit of rust and there's
surface rust.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't see any varnish. No, nothing.
No. Cool.
That's amazing. Let's see if I can get that on camera. Yeah, hold that. Alright, we got this. Ain't gonna be easy. But anyway, this tank's super clean inside, which is really, really good. So another gasket will clean this guy up and call it a day.
Yeah.
No, got all the gaskets though. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's just a standard thermostat. We pulled the radiator out. Kyle's ready to pull the fan off here. The fan, we finally got her broke free. She's turning now. But I have a water pump coming, so we're going to change this water pump. That's just going to make it funner to take the fan off now that it turns. But coolant, radiator's out. We took the heater hoses off. All that stuff was just so brittle and hard. Water pump's coming today from Rock Auto. What?
Want to video that?
Oh yeah, the thermostat just so rusty and nasty. Thermostat neck. We'll take that off and see if I can clean that up. If not, I'll have to find a thermostat neck And then there's just 4 bolts that hold the water pump on the front of this motor.
Yep. And it comes off. Well, at least the fan. And then there's...
Yeah, we'll get the fan completely off. And then I think we'll take the thermostat jacket off the water pump before we pull the pump. So we'll unearth the bolts that are buried in the
smegma.
60 years of smegma there. You tell where it was binding? Oh, grind, grind, grind. You can hear the crap inside of it though.
Yeah.
It's probably just got so much rust in it that... Well, there she is. We'll put a new one on it. Okay, the fuel bowl is all cleaned up and reinstalled. It looks really nice. We're going to try to flush the fuel system with some carb cleaner, and the fuel tank looks pretty good. We will pop that sending unit off of it and see what we get. Scraping the year's worth of grossness off the front of the engine here to reinstall a new water pump. Water pump's off, but it's off and
rusty.
New one's ready to go on, except for cleanup process. So
yeah, we'll have to clean.
But we're still waiting on the delivery. So all right, so the new water pump is in. Picked that up from Rock Auto, not a sponsor. I don't have my thermostat gaskets yet. This crazy elongated hole there. See if I can show that to you. Right there. I don't have that gasket yet. Rock Auto shipped it all in 2 parts, so I gotta wait till Tuesday to get that one done. We did clean up that fuel bowl. It looks really nice. We're gonna clean the fuel system up and try to run this with the carb the way it is. Haha. I'm sure we're gonna be pulling that off and rebuilding it. And in here, we put the floorboard back in place. And I've got the ignition switch. Sorry it's so dark. But the ignition switch is mounted and secured. Now I just have to wire that. I'll probably play with that tomorrow night. And then we got the tailgate pieces off of my trailer. It's nice to have that all cleaned up, and I had to cut them up into about 2-foot sections and throw them in the garbage can. So That mess is cleaned up. Okay, and we're back. Today, it's kind of snowy and stuff outside. That's why we're all hooded up here. But today's goals are to get the thermostat housing and gasket and thermostat in place. We'll get all that done. Maybe seal the transmission up because I got a PTO plate. So eliminating the PTO, just going to put a cover plate on that. But let's get going on all of that. So here's the PTO housing and the old thermostat was super cool. Look at this. I haven't seen one like this for a long time. So that came out, and of course a new style replaces it. So loses cool points there, but that's all right. We got both pieces of the thermostat housing all cleaned up and almost dumped on the floor. We'll get them put on. And we'll start with that. We'll glue them together with the right stuff so they hopefully don't leak. We got Kyle and we got Matt. Everybody waves when you put them on camera. And we'll get going on that. Scoop it a little and that's pretty thick. We'll smear it around with the finger here. Yeah, put it on a little thicker than that. It's just cold.
Yep.
Cold. Should have had it inside instead of out here.
It's black cake frosting.
Okay, take the tension off of that. We'll slime it. Take the tension off of that or you're going to have it all over, Kyle. There you go.
Do you want to put some on the block itself too?
Yeah, I think we'll glue both sides just to be safe.
Yeah, actually, it might be okay. Just
maybe.
Sticking the gasket to it and then hurrying and running the.
Hurry and put the bolts in it.
Yep. Other way.
Yes. I'll be alright. You know, it's like when you're 2 years old, you get to match shapes. I wasn't ever good at that.
I'm trying to put the square peg in the round hole.
Yep, square peg, round hole. It don't fit. Get the grinder out, it'll work. Alright, bolts. You got the bolts? Kyle has the bolts.
Oh, come on.
Doesn't like your gloves. You've got it the wrong way. There you go. Kyle's new at this camera operating thing. Okay. And put it on. Nice. Kind of fun working on this old stuff.
I kind of want to take a torch to this. Well, a little mini torch to see if it actually moves.
Right? It's kind of a cool design, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how many of you guys at your work have you told us that you're working on a 46 and tried to make them jealous?
I asked one because I knew the one that actually kind of worked on things a little bit. I was like, what was all this you worked on? And he's like, I think 72. And I'm like, I got you beat. And I show him pictures and he's like, dude, that's pretty cool.
Yes, it is. Pretty cool. Alright. Install it.
Is that the...
That's the lower. He's giving this old thermostat a test here. See if it'll move. 180 degrees. We ought to be there, probably.
Oh yeah, it shouldn't take too long.
Shouldn't take long at all with the torch on it. She ain't moving, is she?
No.
Don't see her moving at all. Well, it's a good thing we're doing her.
Yeah, they're all.
Oh, three are in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're sitting.
Okay, you got a bolt. Kyle has a bolt.
Well, gotta get.
Man, how much room for that fan? Oh, we're being that close. Use Kyle.
This is a 7/16, not a 1/2 inch.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, that would be a problem, Kyle.
That's a problem, Kyle.
It was in the 1/2 inch.
I need to swap my two toolboxes. This one here is just. So radiator's in. We're having trouble getting that lower hole aligned. We'll get that thing hung and put some hoses on it and put a fan on it and call it a day. Okay, progress continues on the old truck. We've been to the store and we picked up 5/8 heater hose. Ran all new heater hose on it. Got a new upper radiator hose on it. That was a custom jobby. But that's all on there. Yeah, the radiator cap specs out as a T3, which shows up as a tractor radiator cap at an unknown specified pressure. So the manager over at the local O'Reilly did what he could and found it's this guy. I don't know what pressure it is, if it even says on
It
it.
doesn't even say on
It
it.
doesn't, so anyway, we're gonna try that. I kept the old one because we're not sure if the old one's even bad. We're just preemptive here. The fuel pump bowl is all cleaned up and new gasket and ready to go. And Matt is currently over here. We're gonna unbolt this carburetor. He's gonna take it to work and soak it in the solvent tank, and I've got a rebuild kit for it. And hopefully next weekend this thing will run and idle on its own is our plan. We checked out the fuel tank in the last little bit there. You saw that it's like brand new inside. So we get this carburetor done. The rest of the system's all buttoned up. I need a belt. I'll find a belt for it still. The belt that I got from Amazon was way too long, so I've got one that I know is going to work. I'll get it coming this week, and hopefully next weekend we'll hear this run again. So stay tuned. Alright, welcome to Wednesday night. I'm going to do a little wire twisting tonight to see if I can get this ignition switch wired in. So follow along. Alright, I'm going to start with wiring the wire over to the coil. I put my roll of wire inside there. I'm going to crimp a new end on this thing and feed it back through my existing cap here. So we need to go through this thing first because it's captured. So I have to go through here and then crimp my end on. If I can get it all to stay there. Okay, we're gonna bite it off. Whoop, see, I almost screwed up there. We gotta go through here. Now we gotta do this. Okay. Nice. Alright, I know I should have my heat gun, but I don't have it handy. So we're just gonna do it the caveman way. that's gonna be hot. But then that needs to go over this guy. And my other nut needs to go on here. Alright, that's good and tight. Now, if we bend this up just a skosh, I'm hoping it'll go through here. Yeah, that's better. Now we're golden. Alright, now we're inside the truck. Key switch is right there. This guy's got to come over. So I want to leave him plenty alone. We're going to cut it about here then. And I'll route it up and over things. And we'll put a loop on it. Alright, update. Haven't been filming a lot of this because electrical's boring. Had to pull the key switch out of the dash because I can't leave it mounted in place and wire it. But that's my coil wire. This is my heater power that's hooked onto the accessory side of things. I have one really tight wire up in here that I'm going to have to replace. That's going to go and give me my constant power. And then this terminal's my start, and we won't use that because we have the old foot starter here. So, but while I was wiggling things, everything's nice and brittle. I pulled a wire out of this here 6-volt flasher, and I'm gonna have to find one of these and replace this thing and probably rewire it. So before the turn signals and stuff will work. So that's not going to hinder us from running it and whatnot this weekend, but that's gonna have to happen to make my lights and stuff work. So anyway, I'm done for tonight. It's cold out here, so we'll catch up with it tomorrow.
What's up, Kyle? I'm ready for you, buddy. Come on!
There it is.
Ding! Got it!
Busy taking the headache rack apart. get this bed cut up and hauled off and start second phase of this project. Okay, so I didn't film a lot of this because it's been pretty boring and kind of tedious. But here's an update. We've got all of the top bed removed. And this guy was a dump truck in its previous day. There's the ram and all of that going on. But yeah, we're getting there. We cut the forward piece of it off here. But we're slowly gonna get this all cut up and get it off of the factory frame here and scrap it. We've been loading my scrap truck with it. Lucky enough to have the capability just to load it all on here and get rid of it. So this will be a pretty heavy load of stuff by the time I get it to the scrap yard. So that's going to be this weekend's edition of Zeke's Garage.